Hi, I'm Monica, and I have a big dream. I'm from a small town where everyone knows each other. But I wanted to see the world and learn English because English is the most important language if you want to talk to people from all over the world. One day, I told my parents, I want to go to France to study and to learn English. At first, they were very surprised. My mom looked at me with worry in her eyes. She said, Monica, it's very far, and you will be alone there. Are you sure? I nodded and said, Yes, Mom, I'm ready for this. I need to do it for my future. After a lot of thinking, my dad finally said, Okay, Monica, we believe in you. Go and learn. Make us proud. My mom was a bit sad, but hugged me tight. The day I left, she cried, and even my little brother looked sad. I hugged them, feeling both excited and scared. On the plane to France, everything felt new. I had never been in an airplane before, so I kept looking out of the window. I sat next to a kind lady who saw that I looked nervous. She smiled and said, Are you traveling alone for the first time? I nodded. She said, You're very brave. If you need help with anything, ask me. The flight was long, but I was too excited to sleep. I kept thinking about my new life in France, the friends I would make, and most importantly, learning English. When I reached France, everything looked so different. The streets, the buildings, and even the people, they were all new to me. I took a taxi to my apartment, and when I got there, I was so tired that I threw my bags and shoes on the floor, just like I did at home. I thought I was alone, but then I heard a voice. Hey, you must be Monica. I turned around and saw a girl smiling at me. Her name was Sarah, and she was my roommate. She laughed and said, Monica, here we have to keep things tidy, okay? I felt a little embarrassed, but laughed with her. Sarah was kind, and we became friends quickly. She told me many things about living in France, like how to buy groceries and where to catch the bus. I knew that France was an expensive place to live, so I looked for a part-time job. I needed to earn some money to help pay for my studies and my daily expenses. After a few days, I found a job in a small cafe nearby. My job was to serve coffee and clean tables. It was hard work, but I liked talking to people, even if I didn't know a lot of French. Many people in the cafe were friendly and happy to give me tips for learning English. One of my favorite customers, an old man named Mr. Pierre, told me, Always listen carefully to how people speak. That's how you will learn pronunciation. I listened to him carefully and practiced every day. When I started my classes, I felt nervous. There were many students from different countries, all trying to learn English. Our teacher, Mrs. Taylor, was very nice. She said, Don't worry if you make mistakes. Making mistakes is part of learning. She taught us new words every day and helped us practice pronunciation. Mrs. Taylor always said, Practice speaking as much as you can. Speak to everyone, even if you feel shy. One day, Mrs. Taylor gave us a great tip. Use small, simple words. Don't try to speak perfect English from the start. Just start talking, and you will get better every day. I found that very helpful, so I started using simple words in English with my friends. Living in France was exciting, but I missed my family every day. I missed my mom's cooking, my dad's funny jokes, and even my dog Max. Sometimes at night I felt lonely, but I remembered why I was there. To learn, to grow, and to become fluent in English. In France, people eat so many different things. For breakfast, they eat something called a croissant. It's a soft, flaky bread that tastes amazing. But my favorite thing was that everyone seemed to love Nutella. People ate Nutella on bread, on pancakes, and sometimes just by itself. It made me laugh because I never thought people could love one thing so much. I was also learning to cook because food in restaurants was very expensive. Sarah, my roommate, showed me how to make simple dishes. We often made pasta and salad because they were quick and easy. One thing I loved about France was how safe it felt. Sometimes I came back to my apartment late at night, even at 2 a.m., and I didn't feel scared. It made me feel free knowing I could explore and come home safely. After I settled into my apartment with my roommate Sarah, things began to feel a little easier. Sarah and I quickly became close friends. Every night, after we'd throw our bags and shoes around, we'd sit in the living room, chatting about our classes and life back home. She was from England, so her English was perfect. I told her my goal was to speak like that someday too. One of the biggest parts of my journey has been my English class at the university. Our teacher, Mrs. Taylor, is incredible. She's this friendly, encouraging person who always makes us feel comfortable. On the very first day, she said, "Learning English isn't about being perfect. It's about expressing yourself. Speak from your heart." I'll never forget those words. It helped me feel less nervous about making mistakes because I knew they were just part of the process. In every class, Mrs. Taylor would make English feel alive. She had us speak in pairs, listen to short English stories, and even play games. She told us the best way to learn is by using English as much as possible. "Don't be afraid," she'd say. "Even if you only know a few words, use them. The more you speak, the more you'll learn." I began following this advice whenever I could, even practicing with Sarah at home. We'd talk about our day, the funny things our classmates said, and even our dinner plans, all in English. One day, Mrs. Taylor told us something that changed the way I thought about learning. "Imagine you're a child," she said. "When children learn a language, they copy what they hear. Do the same. Listen to English, copy the sounds, and don't worry if it's perfect." I started watching short English videos with subtitles, paying close attention to how the words sounded. I repeated phrases quietly to myself, feeling a little silly at first, but knowing it was helping me. Mrs. Taylor had all sorts of creative ideas for learning. She gave us fun homework, like picking 5 new words each day and using them in sentences. The first day I tried it, I picked words like delicious, enjoy, and amazing. I kept saying, "This food is delicious," or "I enjoy my English class." By the end of the week, I felt comfortable using these words without even thinking about them. Reading was another skill Mrs. Taylor encouraged us to practice. She suggested starting with simple books, maybe children's books, since they were easy to understand. She said, "Reading helps you learn new words, understand how sentences are built, and even practice pronunciation." I went to the library and borrowed a short book in English. At first, I had to use a dictionary for many words, but soon I noticed I could read more and more without it. Every time I finished a page, I felt a little thrill of excitement. "I'm doing it," I'd tell myself. "I'm really learning English." Besides reading, Mrs. Taylor encouraged us to listen to English music and watch movies. "Movies are like real-life English lessons," she explained. "You hear how people actually talk." That weekend, I watched Finding Nemo in English. I laughed, I understood some parts, and when I got lost, I just enjoyed the movie. Sarah joined me, and we both tried repeating some funny lines afterward. We'd laugh when our pronunciation wasn't perfect, but little by little, it was getting easier. One of my favorite ways to practice was singing along to English songs. Sarah and I would listen to Ed Sheeran, Taylor Swift, and try our best to keep up with the lyrics. It was a fun way to practice English without feeling like we were studying. Life in France wasn't all easy, though. I needed to handle my finances carefully. Living here was expensive, and I missed my family terribly. I remember one night, after a long day at school and work, I was alone in the kitchen, staring at my phone, wishing I could see my mom's face. I missed her food, her warm hugs, even the way she'd say, "Monica, you're stronger than you think." But Sarah was always there for me. She reminded me that it's okay to miss home, and that I wasn't alone. "We're all in this together," she'd say, and it helped me feel less homesick. The part-time job I'd taken up was at a small cafe. It was my first job where I had to speak English with customers. The first week, I was terrified. My words would come out mixed up, and I'd often say things twice. But over time, it got better. One of my regular customers, a kind older woman named Anne, would smile at me every time she came in. She'd say, "You're doing great, Monica. Just keep talking." Her kindness made me feel less nervous, and soon I was able to handle conversations with ease. One night, Sarah and I stayed up talking about life, dreams, and all the small struggles we were facing. She told me, "You're so brave for coming here and learning a new language. Every step you take is bringing you closer to fluency." It was moments like these that reminded me why I was here. Learning English wasn't just a class or a job requirement. It was a key to my dreams. One day in class, Mrs. Taylor announced, "We're going to celebrate everyone's birthdays together in class." She said birthdays would be a perfect time to practice speaking English in a fun way. I thought it was such a lovely idea. Whenever it was someone's birthday, we would all bring small treats, sing happy birthday in English, and give speeches to celebrate. It was amazing because we all got to talk, make each other laugh, and learn new words. On my birthday, Mrs. Taylor even brought a little cake for me. Everyone sang, "Happy birthday, dear Monica." I felt so happy, and it made me feel like I had a new family here in France. Afterward, Mrs. Taylor gave us a short writing exercise. Each person had to write a birthday wish for me in English. It was wonderful to read everyone's wishes. Some were funny, some were sweet, and it helped us all practice writing in English. Mrs. Taylor had another interesting idea for learning. She introduced English Culture Day, where we would pick a theme related to English-speaking countries.